are watching the news on the hour, brought to you from the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNN. I am Zubechi Frank. You are welcome. The Archbishop of Enugu Ecclesiastical Province, the Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, has urged the judiciary to endeavor that justice prevails over the trial of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onore, on his case of non-declaration of assets. It will be recalled that the chairman of Code of Conduct Tribunal, Danladi Umaru, in his judgment some weeks ago, found Honore guilty of the charge brought against him and banned him from occupying any public office for the next 10 years. Reacting to this, the Archbishop urged the judiciary to ensure that justice and equity prevails in Nigeria. Archbishop Chukwuma made this known while speaking in an interview with ACNN news correspondent Wanne Ogechukwu in Abuja.
There's a lot of witch hunting. Whatever judgment you have now is premeditated. And there's nothing you can do than wanting to nail the man. And all efforts they are trying to do is to make sure that Honore doesn't come in because of the influence they want to have over the judiciary. There's a hidden agenda by Mr. President. So I think what they have done is to make sure they just get rid of that man. And no amount of advocating or soliciting for that man that could help. But I think the man was also very much fed up. Hence, he resigned. So all these things, you want to tell me that whatever you are talking about, Honore, all these people who are, including the people who are in service chiefs, how many of them have declared their assets? How many of them? Because I think about declaration of assets, the worst people in the government, the worst people in the government of Buhari that have not declared their assets. We don't see whatever is happening is wrong, is right. But why are you witch hunting and particular about him that he has not declared his assets? How many of us know the assets of Mr. President, or even the Chief of Staff, or even those who are service chiefs? How many of them do we know the assets? How many of them who are there that's working as principal officers? So I think we have talked about equity and justice to prevail in Nigeria, and that is not happening at all.
The cleric also stated that the lesson to be learned from Honore's saga is that nobody is above the law. He also admonished Nigerians to ensure that whatever business they are into is legal.
This is a lesson for Nigerians that whatever height you may be, the law will catch on you. So we must be very careful. Whatever we are doing, that's another side of it. Because if you think that you are untouchable or you are immune, then you have to be very careful how you live your life. And then if you have a source of fund which cannot be proved, then again it's a trouble thing. So people in the judiciary should be careful now and let there be justice in the High Court, because these people are out to mess up the judiciary. And so whatever you acquire, make sure you acquire it in the right means, and when you're asked to declare it and know that the source of this fund or what you acquire is genuine. And there's nothing you can do then.
The Lord Bishop of Diocese Anglican Communion, the Right Reverend Godfrey Ebenisi, have urged newly wedded couple to trust in God for a fruitful marriage and detest schools of thought that tend to make marriage seem like a difficult journey to take. He made this remark during the joining in holy matrimony of the President and Secretary of the Anglican Youth Fellowship, Abuja Diocesan Council, Mr. Ihanyi Okbara and Tokbe Omulolu. The wedding service held at the Basilica of Grace Church, Gudu, Abuja. ACNN News reporter Charles Philip Owakolam has the report.
It was a day never to forget in the lives of Ihanyi, the visionary and dynamic leader of Anglican Youth Fellowship, and the secretary, Tokbe Amaju Omololu, both in Abuja Diocesan Council. The church auditorium was filled with families, youth members, choristers, clergymen, friends, and well-wishers to witness the history-making joining of these two. In his sermon, the Lord Bishop of Ika Diocese urged the couple to shun what the secular world have believed as norm.
Coming from different cultures, there wouldn't be friction. That's the lie of the devil. But coming as one house, with whom I've been blessed, no friction. Praise God. You will enjoy your home. We tell that people just endure. Husband and wife endure in Africa. No! People enjoy their homes. You will enjoy your home.
Also in attendance was the Lord Bishop of Ebu Diocese, the Right Reverend Geoffrey Okorocha, who happens to be Ihanyi's uncle. He also officiated the wedding.
this marriage should begin with God, go with God in all that they do. We wish them every happiness that a happy married life brings. We know there are areas of obstacles, challenges in marriage, but the grace of God will be there for them.
Also speaking was the couple's mothers, wishing them all the best in their marriage.
To build a family, let God build this family for them, provide for them, give them children. That's the joy of marriage. And every blessing, make a home for them. Let the Lord build a home for them.
Like I've been telling my daughter, Ihayi is now number one for any other person. So we should consider him and love him, because that is what will make him to love her very well in return. And I pray God will give them the grace that today will not just be the beginning, it will be the bedrock on which their life will stand.
And the couple, who were very grateful to God, also pledged to be faithful to each other.
I'm grateful to God for blessing me with this beautiful damsel.
I'm really excited and sincerely what can express as in how I really feel, and I thank God for everything so far, for bringing him into my life. I met him in AYF.
I will love you so dearly. I will protect you, and I will be there for you at all times, and also be a responsible husband and father to the family.
Well, I pledge to be faithful, to make you happy, to be there for you through thick and thin in all.
Highlights of the wedding featured songs from different music groups, Thanksgiving and wedding reception. Charles Philip Uwakolam, ACNNTV News.
Just like Paul and Silas and other men of God in the Bible praised God and the glory of God was manifested, the St. Philip's Anglican Church demonstrated the same as to praise and worship God in different dimensions, taking music to the highest level. They also used the opportunity to celebrate their 2 years anniversary through a wonderful program powered by the church choir, tagged Glory Concert, with the theme Divine Settlement. ACNN News correspondent Blessing Ugochukwu was there and has the story.
Music is to the soul what food is to the body, as praises and worship is the only thing God cannot give himself and desire from man. The glory of the Lord was mightily revealed among the St. Philip's Anglican Church as it praised and worshiped God in an unusual way, taking music to the highest level. St. Philip's Anglican Church celebrating their 2 years anniversary through a power-packed program hosted by the church choir tagged Glory Concert with the theme Divine Settlement, also glorified God in different dimensions with powerful and great gospel artists ministering, including the St. Philip's Anglican Church Choir. The vicar of the church, Reverend Canon Ovie Ezimeriwe, stated that the program was organized for dual purpose, adding that this concert is the first of its kind.
Well, the inspiration, I would say, is dual purpose. First, St. Philip is marking a second anniversary. St. Philip's will be clocking 2 years as at May 1st.
Some of the gospel artists also expressed their excitement, ministry, and they further urged upcoming gospel artists to be dedicated, focused, and maintain a good relationship with God.
I had a great time ministering here tonight. Somebody was telling me that this crowd is that they are very quiet, they don't move. I told him, don't worry, when I get there, they're going to move, because once the Spirit of God moves, wherever the Spirit of God is, there's liberty.
It was amazing, the energy from the people. The people really love to worship God. If you're young, if you're an upcoming artist and you're trusting God to be better, to do exploit, I want you to keep pursuing God and maintain your originality. You know what God has asked you to do.
The choir secretary stated that the preparation for the program kick-started in January 2019, and the choir members, especially the choir master, made sacrifices to make the program successful. Also speaking about the program is the sponsor, Mr. Emmanuel Ifatobi, who awarded the success of the program to God, adding that God's blessing will go with everyone that attended the program. Blessing Ifemane also expressed her excitement and experience during the program.
Okay, the preparation has been a little bit tedious for the choir. We've been preparing since January for this concert.
It's filled with a lot of anointing and blessings, and I can tell you, trust me, nobody that comes here is going to leave here the same way.
The experience has been awesome. It has been wonderful. It has been splendid. I'm happy I didn't stay at home.
The climax of the event include presentation from Solomon Lange, Prosper Ochimana, Frank Okoye, St. Philip's Anglican Church, and others. Blessing Ugochukwu, ACNN News.
Christians have been urged to be thankful to God in all situations of life. In the light of this, the Reverend Canon Emmanuel Imakai called together family, colleagues, clergy, and well-wishers to join him in thanking God for seeing 40 years of his life. The birthday celebration was held at the Anglican Church of the Transfiguration, Gadua, Abuja, with host of priests from the diocese, colleagues and friends in attendance. ACNN News correspondent Charles Philip Uwakolam was at the service and has the report.
Having attained 4 decades in the journey of life, the Vicar, Church of the Transfiguration, Gadua, Abuja, Canon Emmanuel Imakai, took to the altar to appreciate God for good life and prosperity granted him. In the birthday service, the preacher, Reverend Canon Oluwaseun Oweye, urged Christians to emulate Canon Imakai and show gratitude to God in all life situations.
And forget not all his benefits. Some of us, because you don't have money in your pocket, you will be angry with God that what has he done? What has God done for me? I've been in Abuja for the past 10 years. I have nothing to show for it. I've graduated for the past 25 years. Nothing to show for it. But you have forgotten that your mate that graduated with you, some are no more. Some have been in the prison yard for the past 25 years. Many times we don't think of what God has done for us, but we look at what God did not do for us.
The service had hosts of clergymen from the Diocese of Abuja in attendance, including the Venerable Nwafili, the Archdeacon in charge of Gudu Archdeaconry. While speaking to ACNN, well-wishers had nothing but heap of praise for the celebrant.
We are so happy celebrating today. He's a man that God will He's a very good that is 40. And we are praying that God will also give him many more years than he is in his ministry.
He's such a person who loves his congregation, loves his family first and foremost, and loves God so well. He's not a troublesome man. Somebody who loves peace, but does not tolerate nonsense. A young man that is committed to the things of God. He has passion, and he has the love for God's people and for God's work. For him, a mediocre performance is unacceptable. He has trusted God for the first 40 years of his life. This is not the time to give up.
The celebrant and the wife talked about achievements and what they are grateful to God for.
All the greatest achievements I've had all through my years today is this Scholar and Continuum, is this Castle Cameroon, is this Schedule and Time. That's the greatest achievement I had. All other achievements are just to complement this. All through my academic years, the foundation my parents gave to me, all my parents told me in life, have already come to pass. And secondly, for the primate to allow me to have this Thanksgiving service with his blessings before he traveled, called my family together and blessed us. I don't think there's any other thing to say than to say thank you, God, for what God has done.
It's better have get to that where I can even be better than me in terms of his endurance and his ability to tolerate
patient with me and to endure all what we have been through all the years. I'm grateful to God. I'm also grateful to him.
Charles Philip Wakolam reporting for ACNNTV News.
Away from church news now, the Senate President Bukola Saraki, Deputy Senate President Ike Ekwemadu have hailed Nigerian workers for playing integral parts to the socio-economic development of the country. In separate tweets by the lawmakers to commemorate the 2019 May Day celebration, they identified the roles of the workers to nation building. Saraki in his tweet said, and I quote, "Today I salute Nigerian workers who are an integral part of the fabric that makes up our society for their tireless contributions to the socio-economic development of our nation." End of quote. Also, Ekwemadu expressed his respect for Nigerian workers. In his tweet said, and I quote, "I doff the hat to Nigerian workers. I salute your industry, sacrifice, resilience and patriotism. You're the pivots and pillars of nation building. Happy May Day." Meanwhile, the governor of Ebonyi State, Chief David Umai, has sacked over 400 senior technical assistants. Umai also dissolved 64 development center coordinators and over 200 management committee members that hailed from the 13 local government areas of the state. The governor directed that the affected former aides should hand over all official documents and property in their possession with immediate effect. Umai made this known in a press statement signed by the Principal Secretary to the Governor, Honorable Clement Nweke, and made available to journalists in Abakaliki, capital of Ebonyi State. Professor Josiah Ajiboye, Registrar, Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN, has urged Nigerian teachers to remain resilient and committed to ensuring they improve the standard of education in the country. Ajiboye gave this advice in an interview with newsmen in Abuja against the backdrop of the Workers' Day celebration. He appreciated Nigerian teachers for remaining dedicated and handling their jobs professionally in spite of the challenges facing the profession. The registrar expressed the hope that the minimum wage would alleviate the challenges and present situation of the Nigerian teacher. Ajiboye urged all teachers yet to register with the council to do so before the December 31st deadline set by the National Council on Education. He said the council would conduct 2 professional qualifying examinations in 2019 for those that will register. We shall now go on a short commercial break. News on the hour continues in a moment. Please stay with us.
At the King's Court is a program where we worship and praise the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords through various musical renditions. So join me, Eukaria Ozovehe, at the King's Court every Tuesday by 6 p.m. on this station, and it promises to be exciting and rewarding.
You are welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the ACNN app for Android from Google Play Store. Governor Rochas Okorocha, the governor of Imo State, has said that the Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport is ready and will be inaugurated in the second week of May. The chief press secretary to the governor, Mr. Sam Onwemenodo, made the disclosure in a statement issued in Owerri, where he said the governor announced it when he received the Director of Commercial and Development of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAAN, Sadiq Rafindadi, at the Government House, Owerri. According to the statement released, Okorocha said he was awaiting the approval of President Muhammadu Buhari to inaugurate the project, adding that he was happy to hand over the cargo airport to his successor as a legacy of his administration. He further thanked the president for approving the building of the international cargo airport, adding that it was fully sponsored by the state government. Meanwhile, in his speech, while presenting a letter from the managing director of FAN to the governor, Mr. Rafin Dadi commended him for his vision, which bettered the new airport, and described the airport as an indelible achievement and a great contribution to the growth of the aviation industry in Imo State, adding that the whole country would benefit from it. And now to international scene. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro claimed to have defeated what he called a military coup attempt by the opposition leader Juan Guaido. Dozens of National Guardsmen sided with the opposition in clashes that injured more than 100 people. But in a different TV address, President Maduro said Mr. Guaido has failed to turn the military against him. Mr. Guaido insists that Mr. Maduro has lost control of the armed forces and that a peaceful transition is at hand, as the opposition leader appealed for his supporters to take to the streets of Venezuela again. Mr. Guaido has been recognized as interim leader of Venezuela by more than 50 countries, including the US, the UK, and most in Latin America. In his televised address, flanked by military commanders, Mr. Maduro accused protesters of serious crimes which he said would not go unpunished. But the president and Mr. Guaido has called on their supporters to take to the streets, setting up more potential violent unrest in a nation already beset by economic crisis, chronic power cuts, and widespread food shortages. And now to sports news. Tottenham's Hotspur manager Mauricio Pochettino has admitted he got his tactics wrong in their 1-0 defeat to Ajax in the first leg of their Champions League semi-finals. Ajax youngsters pinned Spurs back during an utterly dominant opening 30 minutes, where Pochettino had set up his team up in a 5-3-2 formation. The visitors were able to find space in midfield and got their deserved goal when Donny van de Beek netted a priceless away goal. So it's on that sports note that we draw the curtain on this edition of the News on the Hour. I want to thank you for watching. I am Zubechi Frank.